I died on our 10th wedding anniversary, choking on the bitter almonds of a poison mimosa that Mark had mixed with a smile. His hand steady on my back as I convulsed on the balcony of our Tribeca penthouse, the Hudson River mocking me with its indifferent shimmer below. The last thing I saw was his face, my husband of a decade, the man I'd built an empire with, twisted not in grief, but in cold calculation, already dialing his lawyer to claim the life insurance payout that would fund his escape with her. And then, nothing. Blackness. Until I gasped awake in the silk sheets of that same bed, 10 years younger, my heart hammering like a war drum. The date on my phone screaming June 15th, the day before it all went to hell. My name is Athena Hale, and in my first life, I was the fool who trusted too deeply. Born in the Rust Belt grit of Pittsburgh to a single mom who scrubbed floors for a living, I'd clawed my way to the top of Manhattan's cutthroat ad world by 30. Founding Hale and Hart with Mark in our cramped Brooklyn walk-up, we turned it into a billion-dollar beast, pitching campaigns that made brands bleed money and consumers weep nostalgia. I was the visionary. He was the closer. Or so I thought. We met at NYU, bonded over late-night pitch sessions and cheap Merlot, married under a canopy of Central Park leaves when the leaves turned gold. 10 years later, Hale and Hart was synonymous with American excess, Super Bowl ads that crashed servers, viral stunts that trended for weeks. But beneath the gloss, Mark had been carving out his exit strategy. That morning, as sunlight sliced through the blinds like accusatory fingers, I bolted upright, my body a stranger's again, taut, unscarred by the yoga I'd obsessively done to chase away the stress migraines that plagued my final months. My reflection in the vanity mirror stared back, wide hazel eyes, chestnut waves tumbling loose, the faint laugh lines around my mouth that Mark used to trace with his thumb. God. I looked alive. Really alive. My hands trembled as I touched my throat, expecting the phantom burn of cyanide. But there was only smooth skin. Athena? Babe. You okay? Mark's voice drifted from the bathroom, muffled by the hiss of his electric razor. He emerged in a towel, all lean muscle and easy charm. That dimpled grin I'd once melted for. Now. It curdled my stomach like spoiled milk. Yeah, I croaked, forcing a smile as I swung my legs over the bed's edge. Just a nightmare. Lies already. In my old life, I'd woken him with tears some nights, confessing dreams of falling. He'd hold me, whisper promises. This time, I wouldn't give him the satisfaction. He leaned down, pecking my forehead. Rough one. Huh. Big day tomorrow, anniversary dinner at Le Bernardin. Reservations locked. His phone buzzed on the nightstand, and he snatched it, thumb flying across the screen. I caught a glimpse, a calendar alert for E's birthday surprise. E for Elena. His associate from the London office. The one with the razor bob and legs that went on forever. The one who'd been texting him heart emojis since Paris Fashion Week last fall. My blood turned to ice. I remembered this day now, the frantic planning, the florist calls he'd taken in the shower, the diamond earrings he'd forgotten to wrap for me but shipped overnight to her Hampstead flat. In my first life, I'd chalked it up to work stress, buried the hurt under bottles of Veuve Clicquot. We'd toasted to us, and 24 hours later, I'd been twitching on the floor, his alibi airtight, a board meeting across town. But not this time. This time, I was the ghost in the machine, armed with the future's ugly truths. Mark had been skimming from Hale and Hart for 2 years, funneling client retainers into a Cayman account to bankroll his new life with Elena. The poison? A gift from a shady contact in the agency's pharmaceutical wing, disguised as a migraine remedy I'd begged for. He'd framed it as an accident, but the autopsy would have shown otherwise if I'd lived long enough for one. And the kicker? The secret he'd buried deeper than our vows. Elena wasn't just a fling. She was his half-sister's best friend from boarding school. The one who'd introduced him to the dark web forums where desperate men swap tips on starting over. Together, they'd plotted my erasure. Her laughter echoing in the voicemails I'd hacked post-resurrection in that endless afterlife void. I watched him now, scrolling through Venmo charges for rose deliveries and private jet bookings, oblivious to the storm brewing in my chest. "What's on your plate today?" I asked, voice honeyed, sliding out of bed to wrap my arms around his waist from behind. He smelled like cedar cologne and deceit.
Metings till noon.
Then Jim. "You?" He didn't turn, just angled the phone away. Same old. But hey, let's make tonight special. Early dinner? Just us. I nuzzled his shoulder, fighting the urge to claw his eyes out. He chuckled, low and dismissive. "Can't,
Babe.
late pitch with the team. Rain check."
Lies.
I knew the pitch was a suite at the plaza. Elena flying in under the radar. My grip tightened, nails digging crescents into his skin. He winced, finally looking down. "Whoa. Easy there." "Sorry," I murmured, releasing him. Just excited for tomorrow. As he sauntered back to the bathroom, I grabbed his phone from the charger, unlocked the fool, and dove into his messages. There it was. "Can't wait for tomorrow. Love." The ring? Ring from Elena. Timestamped 2 a.m. The ring. The one he'd pawned my grandmother's sapphire for. Rage boiled. Hot and clarifying. I wasn't just hurt. I was reborn for this. Revenge wasn't a dish, it was a feast. And I'd serve it slow, seasoned with his own poisons. By 8 a.m., I was in my home office, the city humming below like a beast ready to devour. Hail and heart servers were my kingdom, firewalls I'd personally coded, backdoors I'd left for emergencies. Fingers flying over the keyboard. I pulled up the financials. There, the siphon funds, $2.7 million laundered through fake vendor invoices. Elena's name popped in metadata, tied to a shell company in the Virgin Islands. Proof. Undeniable. But brute force was for amateurs. Mark thrived on charm, on plausible deniability. My payback would be surgical, expose his fractures, watch him bleed out socially, professionally, personally. First move, plant seeds of doubt. I forwarded an innocuous email chain to our CFO, CCNG Mark. "Hey, notice some discrepancies in the Euro accounts. Flagging for review." Simple. He'd sweat without knowing why. Next, I dialed my assistant, Lena, a pit bull in Louboutins who'd always had my back. Cancel my afternoon. And pull Elena Voss's travel records from the London office. Discreetly. "Everything okay, boss?" Lena's Brooklyn twang cut through the line. "Never better," I lied, smiling at my reflection in the monitor. Athena Hale. Version 2.0. Sharper. Unbreakable. Lunch was a solo affair at Sant Ambrius, where I nursed an espresso and sketched my blueprint on a napkin. Step 1. Isolate him. I'd play the doting wife tonight. Lure him into complacency. then drop the first bomb, confront him about Elena, not with fury, but with evidence that made him question his own sanity. Gaslight the gaslighter. Step 2. Leverage the agency. Hale and Hart was 51% mine. I'd call an emergency board meeting. Cite fiduciary concerns, freeze assets. Step 3. The personal gut punch. Elena's birthday? I'd crash it. Not with fists, but with the truth of their incestuous little plot, recorded and viral ready. As the afternoon wore on, my phone lit up with Mark's texts. Jim Sesh killed me. Home soon, followed by a heart emoji that twisted like a knife. I replied with a selfie, me in lingerie. Caption: waiting for you. Red heart bait. He arrived at 7, whistling, dropping his gym bag with a thud. Smells amazing in here. I'd ordered from his favorite steakhouse, filet mignon, creamed spinach, the works. Candles flickered on the dining table, soft jazz crooning from the speakers. Figured we'd celebrate early, I said, pouring him a scotch neat. His favorite.
To us.
He clinked glasses, eyes lingering on my silk robe. To 10 years. You're the best. 8EH. But his phone vibrated, and he glanced, guilty twitch at the corner of his mouth. I let it slide, serving dinner with small talk about clients, the new Soho office. Midway through, as he savored his bite, I leaned in. So, tell me about Elena Voss. The London firecracker everyone's buzzing about. He froze. Fork hovering.
Elena?
Yeah. Scharbgal. Closing that Unilever deal next month. I sipped my wine, eyes locked on his.
She seems. Close.
Saw her messages popping up. Birthday plans. His laugh was forced. A bark.
What? No.
Just team stuff. You're imagining things. Babe. Am I? I pulled out my phone. Tapped play on a voice memo I'd accidentally recorded that morning. His shower soliloquy about E's perfect day.
His color drained.
Athena. What the?
Sure.
I paused it. Voice velvet over steel. I'm not mad.
Mark.
Hurt. Devastated. But curious. How long? He stammered. The charmer crumbling. It's nothing. A flirtation. Work stress. Save it. I slid a printout across the table. The Venmo trail. The Shell Company docs. 2 years. $2.70 mil. And the kicker? That migraine pill you sourced from PharmaCorp's black market contact. Ring any bells. His eyes bulged. Chair scraping as he stood. This is insane. You're spying on me? Self-preservation. Darling. I rose too, circling the table like a shark. You think you can play God? Poison your wife for a payout and a side piece? I know everything. The cyanide. The alibi. The ring you bought her with my grand sapphire. He lunged, grabbing my wrist.
How?
You couldn't. I twisted free. Years of kickboxing classes flooding back. Because I'm not the Athena you remember. Not anymore. His face, pale, slack, mirrored the horror I'd felt dying. Good. Let it sink in. That night, as he slept fitfully beside me, I lay awake, plotting deeper. This was just the appetizer. Tomorrow, our anniversary, I'd unravel him thread by thread. But as dawn crept in, a whisper of doubt. Was revenge enough? Or would it hollow me out too? The morning of our 10th dawned brutal, scorching sun baking the city. Air thick with the promise of thunderstorms, mirroring the chaos I'd unleash. Mark was already gone by 6 a.m., a terse posted on the fridge. Boardroom all day.
Love you.
Love. The word slithered like a serpent. In my old life, I'd spent that day prepping for Le Bernardine, agonizing over a gift, engraved cufflinks with our initials intertwined. He'd shown up late, reeking of her perfume, and we'd dined in strained silence before the mimosas sealed my fate. This time, I skipped the sentiment.
Coffee black.
I fired off emails to the board. Urgent audit request, irregularities in international transfers. To Lena, prep NDAs for key staff. We're going nuclear. By 9, my inbox exploded, concerned queries from VPs. A panicked call from the CFO. Athena, this about the Euro glitch? Mark's been cagey. Cagey is putting it mildly, I replied. Voice steel. Full forensic dive. Today, Hale and Hart's headquarters loomed in Midtown. A glass monolith etched with our logo, a stylized laurel wreath. Symbol of victory. I designed it, poured my soul into every pixel. Stepping into the lobby, the receptionist beamed. Mrs.
Hale.
Happy anniversary. I forced a grin. Thanks.
Jess.
Is my husband in? Conference room 4. The whole exec team's there.
Perfect.
Audience primed. The elevator ride blurred. 15 floors of freefall in my gut. What if he confessed?
Turned it on me.
Painted me the hysteric?
No.
I had receipts. Digital Fort Knox. I burst into the boardroom unannounced. 20 suits turning like a flock of startled pigeons. Mark at the head. Mid-slide on Q3 projections.
Froze.
His eyes blue. Once my harbor, now shark dead. Athena? He recovered fast. Charm dialed to 11. Joining us? We're just saving the small talk. I strode to the front, plugging my laptop into the projector. Gasps rippled as the screen bloomed. Wire transfers.
Timestamps.
Elena's smiling headshot from LinkedIn. Gentlemen, ladies, our esteemed co-founder has been embezzling $2.7 million, siphoned to a lover in London. And that's the tip of the rot. Chaos erupted, curses, chair shoves. Mark bolted up. This is libel. She's unhinged, stress, paranoia. Paranoid? I clicked forward, the Cayman docs, cross-referenced with his passport stamps. Paris, Milan, her hotel receipts. Or prescient, check the metadata. It's you.
Mark.
Every keystroke. The CFO, grizzled Tom Riley, slammed his fist.
Jesus. Hale.
If this is true, it is. I turned to Mark, voice dropping to a hiss only he could hear. Confess. Or I drop the poison angle next. Board loves scandals. But homicide? That's front page. His jaw clenched. Adam's apple bobbing. Sweat beaded on his brow. Athena. Please. Off the record. It's not what you think. Think. I laughed. Bitter. I know. You plotted my death for the insurance.
20,000. Right?
To whisk Elena away to some villa in Tuscany. Far from the mess you made. The room hushed. A VP whispered.
Death.
Mark's face crumpled. Defeat. Not remorse. Fine, he muttered, sinking into his chair.
I.
Borrowed funds.
For us.
Investments gone south. Elena was.
A mistake.
But the rest? Delusion. She's cracking.
Gaslighting to the end.
I nodded to security. Two burly guys I'd texted en route. Escort Mr.
Hail out.
Confiscate devices. As they hauled him away, his glare burned. You'll regret this. 8EH. You're nothing without me.
Wrong.
I was everything. By noon, the board voted unanimously. Mark suspended. Assets frozen. External auditors incoming. Press releases drafted. Leadership transition at Hale and Hart amid financial review. No names, but whispers would fly. Lunch was a war council with Lena in my office, floor-to-ceiling views of the Empire State. Irony not lost.
Boss.
This is ballsy. But Elena? She's en route. Jet lands at Teterboro at 3. Perfect. I scrolled her itinerary, hacked via a quick VPN tunnel. Spa day. Then the plaza. Book me a room there. And call TMZ's tip line. Anonymous. Add XX anniversary snub. Hubby jets in mistress. Lena's brows shot up. Petty or genius? Both. Controversy was currency in New York. I'd leaked just enough to tarnish.
Not torpedo yet.
Afternoon blurred into calls. Lawyers drafting divorce papers. Prenup ironclad in my favor. 60% of the agency mine. Plus alimony that'd choke him. But money was table stakes. The real revenge? Shatter his facade. At 5. I slipped into the plaza's opulent lobby, crystal chandeliers dripping like frozen tears. Air scented with tuberose. Mark had reserved the royal suite. Signature flourish. I charmed the concierge with a fake name, Elena Voss's assistant, and snagged a duplicate keycard. Elevator up. Heart pounding, not fear. Exhilaration. This was my resurrection. The suite was a shrine to excess, rose petals strewn like bloodless wounds. Champagne chilling. A velvet box on the pillow, the ring. Solitaire canary diamond, mocking our sapphire vows. Elena lounged on the chaise, scrolling her phone in a cashmere slip, oblivious. Mid-30s. Porcelain skin. That bob framing a face sharp as a switchblade. She looked up, startled. You must be.
Atena hale.
I closed the door softly, locking it. Wife number 1. Her laugh tinkled. Forced.
Oh.
Mark mentioned. Tension.
Drink. No.
I perched on the bed's edge, close enough to smell her Chanel no. 5. His favorite on me.
Once.
He also mentioned poisoning me. For you. She paled, but recovered with a smirk. Dramatic. Mark's a storyteller. I pulled out my phone, playing the memo, his voice, clear as confession, detailing the cyanide drop. Her gasp was genuine, or was it? That was. Roleplay. Kinky stuff. Bullshit. I leaned in. I know about the forums. Sisters in arms for jilted housewives? No, you too. Plotting my disappearance. Half-sister's friend. Right? Taboo twist. Her eyes narrowed. Facade cracking. You hacked us? Bitch. Smart. I stood. Circling. Here's the deal, walk away.
Now.
Or I go public. Texts. Transfers. The lot. You'll be the homewrecker who enabled murder. She lunged for her phone, but I snatched it, smashing it under my heel, satisfying crunch. Try me. Fuck you. Tears welled. Mascara smearing. He promised me everything. You were. Obsolete. Obsolete. The word echoed my dying thoughts. But I was here, breathing. Obsolescence is your future.
Get out.
She grabbed her coat, flinging the door wide, right into Mark, who barreled in, face thunderous. Athena, what the hell? Surprise party? Darling. I waved the velvet box. Your gift to her. With my pawned heirloom. He shoved Elena aside, advancing. You're destroying everything.
No.
I met his gaze, unblinking. You did. 10 years.
Mark.
For what? A fling and filthy money. He grabbed my shoulders, shaking. I loved you, but you got boring. The agency consumed you. Elena, she sees me. Lies. Security pounded the door, my call from the lobby. As they dragged him off, Elena slipped away, vanishing into the hall. Back in Tribeca that night, alone in our mausoleum of a home, I poured scotch, his, not mine, and toasted the skyline. Victory's first taste, sharp, lonely. But as rain lashed the windows, my phone buzzed, an unknown number. Text, you think you know? Check the safe. The wall safe, combination our wedding date. Inside, not cash, but files. Photos of me, younger, with a man not Mark. My college ex, dead in a car accident I'd blamed on drunk driving. But the coroner's report, tampered brakes. And a note in Mark's hand, for Athena. Clean slate. My hands shook. He'd killed before? For me, doubt crept. A serpent in Eden. Was my revenge built on sand? Rain hammered Manhattan like judgment from on high, turning the streets into rivers of regret as I stared at the files in our safe, yellowed edges whispering secrets I'd buried deeper than Mark's betrayals. The photos showed me at 22, wild-haired and reckless, tangled in sheets with Jake Riley, Tom's son, the golden boy of NYU's film program. We'd burned hot, a summer of rooftop parties and stolen scripts, until his Mustang wrapped around a lamppost on the FDR. Cops ruled a DUI. I drowned the guilt in therapy and Mark's steady arms. But here, brake lines slashed, time-stamped the night before our blowout fight over my clinginess. Mark's note, for Athena. Clean slate, scrawled in his precise script, dated the week we got engaged.
He'd
protected me, or eliminated a rival, the ambiguity clawed, twisting my triumph into nausea. I slammed the safe, dialing Tom, Sr., not son. Voicemail, it's Athena. We need to talk. About Jake.
Click.
No accusations yet, I needed facts. Morning brought hungover clarity and a city slick with storm residue. Hail and heart buzzed without Mark, staff tiptoeing, rumors swirling like steam from sewer grates. Lena met me at the elevator, coffee in hand. Boss, the auditors are sharks. Found more. Offshore shells tied to Elena's family trust. Old money. Dirty as hell. Good. I sipped. Bitter burn grounding me. And the press. TMZ bit. Ad mogul's anniversary meltdown. Mistress in the mix. Anonymous source, you nailed it. I smirked. But the Jake file weighed like lead. Pull Jake's accident report. Full file. And book me a PI discreet. XNYPD. By 10, I was in the war room. Whiteboard scrawled with timelines, Mark's embezzlement arc, Elena's ingress. Now this ghost from my past. Had he always been my shadow guardian? Or a puppeteer? Clipping threats to control the board? Tom arrived at noon. Face etched like cracked leather. Eyes red-rimmed. Athena. God. Jake. We hugged, awkward, paternal. In the conference room, doors sealed. I slid the files across oak. He scanned.
Baling.
Breaks? I thought. The talk screen said .08 BAC. Falsified. My voice cracked. He rubbed temples. Mark handled the aftermath. Said he'd take care of arrangements. I was wrecked. Booze. Grief. Trusted him.
Trusted.
The word poisoned everything. Did he ever mention suspicions? Tom shook his head. Boy was wild. But this? He tapped the note. That's Mark's writing. Christ. I leaned back. Storm clouds gathering outside. He did it for me.
Tom.
To protect our future.
And now?
He's poison, literally. Tom's jaw set. Agency's yours.
Kid.
I'll back the ouster.
But this.
We go to cops? Not yet. Controversy was my blade. But homicide? That cut both ways. First, I gut him where it hurts. Legacy. Afternoon devolved into frenzy. Client calls placated. Stock dips stemmed with a visionary pivot memo crediting me solo. Mark texted from exile. We need to talk. Coffee? For old times. I ignored, blocking him. But Elena's warning echoed. You think you know? Curiosity. That cat killer drove me to a midtown diner, greasy spoon anonymity. Vinyl booths scarred by 1,000 confessions. The PI. Rocco, a bulldog in a members-only jacket, slid in opposite. Folder fat. Jake Riley, brakes cut clean. Tool marks match a set from the agency garage. Security cam wiped, but backup server had a glitch. Guess who accessed it that night? Mark Hale. 2:17 a.m. My espresso turned to ash.
Motive.
Rocco shrugged. Kid was talking marriage. Had a ring. You're picking his wallet. Hale finds out, boom. Jealousy. Or business. Your startup was hot. Jake's dad, my old boss, had stakes.
Tom.
The connection spiderwebbed. Loyalty bought with blood? And the insurance on Jake? Paid out to the estate. But funneled. Guess where? Seed money for Hale and Hart. Jesus. Mark hadn't just stolen my past. He'd built our empire on it. The betrayal layered deeper. A Russian doll of deceit. I paid Rocco cash. Slipped into the rain-slick streets. Phone buzzed, Lena. Mark's lawyered up. Demanding meeting. Says he has dirt on you.
Dirt.
Let him try. I was the dirt now, fertile, vengeful soil. Evening found me at a rooftop bar in the village. Jazz trio wailing blues under strung lights. Solitude suited. Crowds pressed too close. But there she was, Elena, perched at the bar, martini sweating. Coincidence? Hell no. Athena. She slid beside me. Voice silk over gravel. True strength. I eyed her bruised ego, but eyes sharp. Why? You won round one. She signaled the bartender. But Mark's not the villain you think. I laughed. Hollow. Enlighten me. She lit a cigarette, illegal indoors. But who cared? Exhaling smoke like secrets.
Jake.
Mark told me. He did it for you. You were spiraling.
Post-breakup.
Mark saw the light. Cut the cord. Or lose you. Bullshit rationalization. Truth. She tapped Ash. And the poison? Not his idea.
Mine.
My glass shattered in my grip, shard nicking palm. Blood welling crimson. What? You wouldn't let go. Divorce was messy. Prenup clause you in.
So, I suggested.
Acceleration. He resisted. Until the money dried. Liar. Or was she? The twist gutted me. Why tell me now? Survival. She stubbed the cig. He's coming for us both. Has tapes your affairs. Faked but convincing. Leverage.
Tapes.
The decision loomed. Controversial as sin. Ally with the serpent. Or burn alone. I have proof, I said. Voice steady despite the sting. Your forums. Your trust. Walk. Or we both sink. She smiled. Feral. Or we sink him. Together. Temptation coiled. Two vipers. One strike. But trust? Shattered glass. As she vanished into night, my phone lit. Tom's text. Cops have Mark. Confessed embezzlement. But the pill?
Denied.
Said you planted it. Framed. Again. Rage reignited, cleaner. Fiercer. No more half measures. Tomorrow, I drag every skeleton into the light. Consequences be damned. But sleep evaded. Jake's ghost whispering. Was I avenging? Or atoning? Dawn broke gray and unforgiving. The kind of New York morning that smelled like wet concrete and fresh starts nobody believed in. I hadn't slept, pacing the penthouse till 3 a.m. Jake's files splayed like a crime scene on the kitchen island. Elena's olive branch festered. Ally or enemy. Mark's confession to cops bought time. But his denial on the poison screamed setup. If he flipped the script, I'd be the unhinged wife. Agency stripped. Reputation in tatters. Coffee scalded my throat as I suited up, tailored black Armani. Power heels clicking like metronome to madness. Today's agenda. Controversial as hell. Step 1. Public mea culpa. A press conference at noon, owning the family turmoil while torching Mark's bridge. Step 2. The nuclear option. Leak the Jake files to a friendly journalist at the Post, framing it as tragic origins of an ad empire. Controversy bred clicks. Clicks bred capital. I'd risk the backlash for the bleed out.
Lena met me curbshined.
Town car idling.
Boss.
Twitter sablaze. Hale-heart heist trending. Mark's camp leaking your bipolar. Old therapy notes.
Bastard.
I'd shredded those sessions, confessions of postpartum doubt after our phantom pregnancy. The one that never stuck. Counter it. Statement. Personal matters being resolved amicably. Focus remains on innovation. She nodded. Scrolling. And Elena? Flight out at 6 p.m. Delay it. I needed her, willing or not. Hale and Hart's lobby swarmed, reporters behind velvet ropes. Flashing bulbs like paparazzi strobes. I waded through, chin high, Lena shielding flanks. The presser room, podium flanked by laurels. Irony biting. Cameras rolled as I stepped up. Hart a war drum. Good morning. Flashbulbs popped. Thank you for coming. Hale and Hart stands at a crossroads, not of crisis, but clarity. Recent internal reviews uncovered irregularities under my co-founder's tenure. We've acted swiftly. Suspension, audits, Full transparency. Hand shot up. Mrs.
Hale.
Rumors of embezzlement. Confirmed.
Million diverted.
Law enforcement involved.
Gasps.
But let me be clear, this isn't about blame. It's about rebuilding. Hale and Heart was my vision, bold. Unapologetic American storytelling. And it will endure. A Post reporter. My plant, salty-haired Vic Malone, piped up. And, personally, anniversary drama with a mistress abroad. I paused. The room electric. Controversial cut 1. Vulnerability as weapon. Marriage is sacred. Betrayal? Devastating. But I'm choosing grace over grudge. Questions on the business. Murmurs. But Vic's eyes gleamed. He had the Jake drop cued. Post-presser. In the green room, I handed him the envelope. Off-record source. Ties to a death. Tragic. Unresolved. Run it, gentle. He whistled. This'll nuke Hale's legacy. Good. Legacy was clay. I'd remold mine. Back in my office. Elena called, burner. I traced it. Saw the show. Ballsy. Your cue. I leaned into the desk. City sprawling below. Meet me. Neutral ground. Or the forums go live, your manifesto on erasing obstacles. Silence. Then, fine. Bryant Park. 2 p.m. Brent Park hummed, tourists snapping selfies by the fountain. Suits lunching on benches. Elena waited under the Hermes clock. Trench coat belted tight. Face pinched. This better be quick.
Seat.
We claimed a wrought iron table. Coffee cart steaming nearby. Mark's framing me, poison plant. You said tapes. She nodded. Sliding a USB drive. His insurance. Faked audio. You ranting about ending it all. Therapy clips doctored. I pocketed it. Pulse racing. Why help? Self-interest. Her laugh was brittle. He cut me out post-confession. Called me collateral. The ring? Pawned for bail. Karma's bite.
Alliance. Then.
I bury the poison on him. Your testimony. You walk clean. Testify. She recoiled. To what? A joke. To conspiracy. My voice dropped. You suggested it.
Forum Provant.
Her eyes darted. Fight or flight. You bitch.
Fine.
But one condition. The Jake hit. You bury that too. Mark did it for you, romanticize it. Or we're both exposed. Controversial cut 2. Pact with the devil. Expose one murder. Risk another specter.
Deal.
But cross me. Wires crossed already. She stood, melting into the crowd. By 4. The post hit online. Add Empire's dark origin. Founder's deadly secret in rival's crash. Vic's spin. Tragic love triangle. Mark as overzealous protector. Comments exploded. Justice for Jake trending. Feminists hailing me as avenger. Conservatives decrying toxic masculinity in boardrooms. Backlash stung. Anonymous trolls calling me Black Widow. But Cher's sword. Hale and Heart stock ticked up 3%. Investors smelling blood in the water. Tom called as I cabbed home. The article, God. Athena. Jake's mom saw it.
She's
grateful. Grief's strange alchemy. We owe her truth. Push the cops on the brakes. Done.
Pause.
You okay?
Kid. No.
But vengeance was a jealous god. Evening shattered the fragile peace. Mark. Out on bail. Stormed the penthouse, Key still his. Locks unchanged. I met him in the foyer. Baseball bat from the closet casual in hand. Get out, he laughed. Manic. Or what? Bat your way to widowhood. Bruises under his eyes. Suit rumpled. The tapes drop tomorrow. You'll be the monster. I swung, not hard, but enough to splinter the doorframe beside his head.
Try. Elena flipped. Forum.
Texts your digital news. His smirk died. That slut. You think you're clean? Jake was collateral for us. I loved you enough to kill for it.
Love.
Twisted root. And the poison? Your acceleration? Elena's poison. He stepped closer. Venomous. She whispered it in Paris. I said no.
But you.
You pushed. Begging for those pills. Accident waiting. Lies layered. I raised the bat. Cops have your voice memos. Deny it. He lunged, desperate. Feral, grabbing the bat. We wrestled. Crashing into the console table. Vase shattering like vows. His fist connected, cheekbone throbbing fire. I need his groin. Twisting free. Dialing 911 mid-scuffle. Sirens wailed as he slumped.
Defeated.
Athena. We could fix.
No. Cuffs clicked.
You broke us. Now pay. As they dragged him down. Elena's text. Tapes destroyed. Your move. Alliance held, barely. But the cut deepest. Had I pushed for those pills? In my first life. Desperation's haze. Night fell heavy. Ice on my swelling face. Mirror mocked. Avenger or architect of my own hell. The night mark was hauled away in zip ties and humiliation. I collapsed onto the balcony chaise, the same spot where I'd drawn my last breath in that other life, staring at the Hudson's black mirror. Waves lapping like unanswered accusations. My cheek pulsed purple. A badge of the brawl. But the real bruise bloomed internal. Elena's alliance. Mark's love confession. The nagging what-if that I'd courted my own end. Had my migraines. My pleas for relief. Handed him the perfect pretext?
No.
I died by his hand. Reborn by grace or glitch. Vengeance demanded closure. Twist be damned. Morning tabloids feasted. Ad wife fights back. Bloody bust up with cheating mogul. Grainy shots of Mark's perp walk. My silhouette in the window. Athena Avenger trended. Merch popping, t-shirts with laurels and baseball bats. Controversy's currency. Hail and Heart's crisis line rang off hook. New clients sniffing opportunity in the ashes. Lena burst in at 8. Arms laden with bagels and binders.
Boss.
You're viral. CNN wants you. But cops. Mark's lawyering up. Claiming self-defense. Says you swung first. Let him. I buttered a sesame. Appetite fierce. Elena's testifying at 10. That flips it. She eyed my bruise. And you? Presser? Later. First. The twist I sensed brewing, gut instinct. Honed by boardroom battles. The precinct was a fluorescent hell, coffee stale. Air thick with despair. Elena waited in the lobby. Legs crossed. Looking every inch the ice queen thawed. Athena. Results. I kept it crisp. She handed a flash drive. Full download his laptop. Emails to the pharma guy. Discreet solution for a chronic issue. Your name. Gold. And the forums?
Wiped.
My access. Her smile didn't reach eyes. We're square. Square. I pocketed it. One leak. You're the mastermind.
Mutuelle destruction.
She rose, coat swirling. Enjoy your empire. As she exited, Detective Ruiz, a no-nonsense Latina with a stare like laser, waved me in. Interrogation room. Mark, shackled, sporting a split lip. He looked up, hollowed. Athena, no fight left.
Iset.
Drive burning in my pocket. End it. Full confession, embezzlement,
Jake.
the poison. Or this goes public, your love letters to Elena. The sister-friend taboo. His laugh rasped. Taboo? She initiated. Always did.
Tuistunkoilet. Elena.
The architect. Details. He leaned, chains rattling. Boarding school. My half-sis's shadow, obsessed.
Jake.
She egged me. Clear the path.
Poison.
Her contact. Her plan.
I.
Faltered. Euphemism for murder.
Why?
Power. His eyes met mine.
Raw.
You were slipping, agency stress. The baby ghost.
Elena promised escape.
But I couldn't. The mimosa? Laced weak, meant to sicken, not kill.
You.
Overreacted. Bullshit symphony. But the drive would sing truth. Confess.
Mark.
For Jake's mom. For us. He nodded.
Broken.
For you. Ruiz took the statement, tears streaking his cheeks as he spilled. Schemes for freedom. Jake's hit as preemptive. The dose a mistake per Elena's specs. By noon. Warrants flew. Elena's arrest at JFK. Mid-flight to Heathrow. The presser at 2 was catharsis. Podium steady under spotlights. Bruise concealed by makeup. Voice amplified. Today. Hail and heart closes a dark chapter. My husband, soon ex, confessed to theft, a past tragedy's orchestration, and an attempt on my life. A mistress conspired. Justice unfolds. Questions barraged. Attempt? Details. Agency future? Details with authorities. I paused. Controversial capstone. But a plea. To women in shadows speak. Betrayal thrives in silence. I almost paid with everything. Won't again. Applause thundered. Feminist icon overnight. Backlash? Sure, cancel Athena for airing dirty laundry. But the wave crested my way. Evening brought the twists full bloom. Jake's mom, Eleanor, called, voice frail, over the line. Athena, the confession. Thank you. But Mark said something off record. Elena wasn't the instigator.
You. Me?
Hart stuttered. Before the arrest, he whispered, tell her about the letter. What letter? I knew. Rummaging the safe yielded it. My handwriting. Dated post-J crash. Mark. If you handle this. Forever grateful.
A.
A drunken scrawl. Grief-fueled. Implying elimination. I'd blacked out the memory. But there. Complicity stain. Twist. I'd greenlit the first kill. Buried in bourbon tears. Mark twisted it into our empire's foundation. Elena amplified to poison. Reborn. I'd avenged without absolution. But closure? In a Soho loft, new digs. Agency rebranded Athena and allies. I poured Vuve. Toasting alone. Mark plea bargained. 15 to life.
Elena Zeche. Hale and heart short.
My pitch is bolder. Unscarred. Had how?
Bittersweet.
I'd reclaimed my life. But ghosts lingered, Jake's eyes and dreams. Mark's love, a scar. Controversy forged me. Controversial woman. Unapologetic. Yet as fireworks cracked over the harbor, 4th of July early. Or late, I whispered to the dark. Forgive?
No.
Thrive? Yes. Reborn. I ran toward dawn.